All right, we gotta do Jarrett Rhino.
Yeah, because 4LK gets the fuck shitter. I mean, not much happened. It's more interesting because, like, the behind-the-scenes things with the Rhino. We're TMZ now.
So November 19th, Rhino beat Abyss. We've already talked about that match. And then Larry booked the Rhino and Jarrett match for Turning Point. We then had like a series of Rhino vignettes through the week that we'll talk about all at once. They were set to a song called Caught in the Moment by a band called Broken Yoke. Again, me searching Spotify for these song titles in the show notes. The most important thing I'm doing in the show notes, $1 tier, Patreon, tnachat.com.
You know, if you need them.
So like they go through like the narrative of Rhino's last few months of his career, where like he was fired by the WWE for an incident in WrestleMania weekend where he got into an argument with his wife in a hotel room in the hotel lobby on I think the night of WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania weekend. I think it was the WrestleMania after party, in fact.
Didn't he beat the shit out of a plant?
Yeah, he smashed like a plant pot. It was a scene. And like for all the things that people got fired for in wrestling, I guess it's WrestleMania weekend where there's like a bigger magnifying glass on everything, but that seems relatively tame for being fired.
Yeah, you can fuck up a private jet, but God forbid the after party.
Yeah, like Rhino still worked one night stand after that, but obviously he was fired, he jumped to TNA. So like they go through that where like the whole thing is like Rhino taking accountability for that. It's like, I made mistakes, I understand I made mistakes, and that was all my bad. I'm improving, I'm getting better, I'm growing, and you know, I've worked my way back, I've rebuilt my career here in TNA, and I won the NWA title, but then Jeff Jarrett took that from me, and I'm gonna take it back at Turning Point. That's like the crux of the features. And they're like they're like nice little features for what they are, but they're not really a main event world title program push, are they?
I think it would have been better to have him on the show, personally.
They're the thing you do the month before you go into the main event world title program.
But you re-establish the character, then he starts picking up wins and momentum.
Yeah, this is like the beginning of that, as opposed to like they're doing this after he has already lost the belt in the build up to the rematch. So that's most of what Rhino's doing. Other than the Abyss match, he's then not really on TV, other than those quick like 1 minute features every week. So Jarrett starts like pivoting off into Christian, basically.
It's so weird.
Jarrett main events the November 26th episode against Kip James. Yeah, the big thing there is the debut of Jackie Gata.
And the big thing, alright.
So Jackie Gata comes out and Jarrett's like, what the hell's going on here? What are you doing here? She goes straight for Gail, so there's something between Jackie and Gail.
Everyone wants to fuck Jeff Jarrett because he's the hottest, sexiest, most charismatic man of all time.
Listen, if he had Jeff's charisma, that might be true. Hardy.
And also his looks.
If he was Jeff Hardy, that might be true. So Jarrett repeatedly shouts, that's not what you think. He shouts at her to leave and pushes her. Then she slaps him and brawls with Gail as security separates them. Jarrett still wins the match, even with all that distraction.
Yeah.
That's more 3LK family drama side of it, though. Jarrett comes out the next show, December 3rd, in which he's doing his big promo. It's like, everything was his fault. He sucks. Why are we doing videos on him? He sucks. This is the latest part of the conspiracy to take the belt off me. Look at all the company is putting behind Rhino. They're trying to build his image so he can take the belt from all that kind of stuff.
I like the idea that vignettes are going to help someone win a match.
They're establishing the narrative, you see.
Because wrestling's fake.
He talks about how Gail won't return his calls because Jackie Gata showed up as the crowd chants boring.
Yeah, the crowd does not give a shit. And why would they? It's Jackie Gata.
Hey, we did a career retrospective. It was riveting.
Excuse me, I did a career retrospective.
Tenay inquires about what was behind the slap, and Jarrett gets like deathly serious, and he's like, never ever go there again.
And Tenay's kind of like, what?
Yeah, he's like, well, okay. I've done worse to you. Why are you really mad here?
He's like, I don't really care that much, to be honest.
Christian comes out. Christian's like, I'm not the flavor of the month. I'm Captain Charisma, you silly bastard.
Great bit.
Yeah, he's bored of Jarrett, says all he's contributed to TNA's success is a couple of broken guitars and a bunch of bad haircuts.
Not wrong.
He's coming for the winner of Jarrett and Rhino after he's done with Monty. Jarrett invites Christian down to the ring. Christian teases leaving, turns around, brawls. Christian goes for the unprettier, but Jarrett bails. Rude hits the Northern Lariat on Christian to set up their TV match next week. Jackie Gata comes back out, shouts at Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett pushes her, so she slaps him again. Same thing as last week. Security separates everybody as AMW wants answers from Jarrett about Jackie, Christian, and Rude brawl. Yeah, riveting stuff with Jackie Gata, who gets more TV time this month than Rhino.
Something. Maybe Jackie Gata is Raven's new girlfriend.
That would add up. Opener of the primetime special is AMW and Jarrett against the Naturals. Hardy, we already talked about that match in which they put Andy Douglas through a table. Some brawling. There is a moment in that match where they tease for ages. Like Douglas and Harris are on the top of the ramp teasing doing cool moves off of the ramp. So they're like, well, I'm going to catatonic him off the stage and I'm going to do all this stuff. And then he just kind of boots him off and he falls. By the way, this is Chase's first match back after breaking his neck.
I would have just retired.
He was only out for like 3 weeks.
Should have just 3 weeks is not enough time to recover from neck breaking.
You should really be out for longer. Turning point. There is a show running story, of course, where like the mention that the face of TNA will change forever in 2006. So we have the same thing we always do with Jarrett going to like 15 different people backstage, being like, "You hear about what they said? What do they say? What's that about?"
Best thing is James Storm littering.
He just throws that bottle as they arrive.
Yeah.
Just drops it in a flower blade.
It's great.
They do want to do the point of contrast, and that Jarrett arrives in a limo, with Rhino arrives in a pickup truck.
A very expensive pickup truck. Let's not pretend.
Yeah, that's not a cheap vehicle.
No, that is a gigantic, big waste of money.
In fact, largely more expensive than what I assume is a rented limo.
Jarrett owns the limo.
With the amount TNA use it, they're bloody better. Jarrett does the same thing with Monty later in the show. He does the same thing with Team Canada later in the show. Same conspiratorial stuff, which does lead us to the main event, in which Jarrett defeats Rhino to retain the NWA World Title.
And, it's fine.
Again, as Jarrett crowd brawling matches go, it was one of the more okay ones. I think it went 3 1/4.
It's alright.
Jarrett bleeds.
But, it also followed, the best match in company history. This best singles match in company history, so that sucks for them.
Yeah, they're going out there right after Styles and Joe. And as you said, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for what it is. There's some cool spots.
It's not the worst Jeff Jarrett pay-per-view title match.
No, easily not. We still like that
exactly.
Hardy one. Maybe the DDP one.
Yeah. Oh, there's been a lot of bad Jeff Jarrett. Huh? Shocking development.
It is better than the last Jarrett Rhino pay-per-view match. They brawl up to the camera stand on some scaffolding as Jarrett knocks Rhino off through a table. They set up in the cool spot in the match. They teased this last month and didn't do it, but they set up a table covering the front of the entrance tunnel, and then Rhino gores Jarrett through the table down the tunnel, and the table doesn't even break. The table slides down the tunnel with them. It's a cool looking spot.
It is fun.
And that also sets up a spot after that where Jarrett gets back to the ring because Team Canada come out and help him back to the ring, and they do this big dramatic 10 count. It's if Rhino can't get back to the ring, he loses. Jarrett retains by count out, and they get to 9 and Rhino just charges into the ring straight into his big comeback, and it's a cool moment.
There's bits in this.
Yeah, but it's a Jarrett match, so we get nonsense. So Team Canada are all over the place. Rudy's bumped. Rhino gores A1, but gets caught with the Northern Lariat, but Rhino kicks out. Jarrett hits him with a guitar, but Rhino kicks out. Jackie Gaeta shows up, slaps Jarrett. Jarrett turns right into a gore, but Jarrett kicks out. Don is counting along, and he's like, yes. And then when Jarrett kicks out, he's like, oh, come on.
Don is all of us.
When he realized Jarrett didn't lose. Jarrett hits a middle rope stroke onto 2 chairs to retain after DeBoer hit Rhino in the back with a hockey stick.
He's loving the middle rope stroke lately.
He beat Chris Sabin with it last month.
He's loving it.
The lights go out. It is not Sabu.
Oh God. It's
Sabu? It's Sabu!
That'd be sick.
It's Sting. They're a series of scorpions.
It's Sting.
It's Sting. The Todd Grisham delivery. It's Sting.
It's the stuff associated with Sting.
Yeah, so there's a spotlight in the middle of the ring on a chair upon which
they take so long to see.
Yeah, it's ages. So yeah, you see the jacket, the boots, and the bat in the middle of the ring, and Jarrett and DeBoer are still looking around, being like, "What could it be? What could it be?
What could these scorpions mean?"
Before they finally turn and see Sting's gear in the ring, and Jarrett is shook.
His core.
As Jarrett is still your NWA World Champion.